this is where we camped last night. Just out here about 4 kilometres out of Anarchy, a place called the Smith's Farm Homestay. Lots and lots of camper vans, but a really nice place to stay. These are our toilet and laundry facilities, and there's also a kitchen there and an outdoor seating area. Well, good afternoon, and I'm back in Feilding. I bussed up to Palmerston North this morning from my good friend's place in Umu, and then I caught a bus from Palmerston North back into Feilding. Feeling very, very tired today. In fact, I was feeling very, very tired yesterday when I got into Wellington. I think my body is well and truly ready to stop walking now, but it's really important to get this last little section done and to make my way into Wellington. I'm now into the final section of my hike, and it feels very strange, but I am motivated and I can't wait to be finished, but also to just enjoy the next 4 days or so. I've got my audiobook to keep me company today. It'll be the first time that I've really listened to anything. I don't usually like to listen to music or anything like that, but it's a relatively decent road walk today into Palmerston North. I'm not really looking forward to it, so I'm going to see how the boots go on the road. Hopefully they're going to be kind to my feet. And I'm aiming for the holiday park in Palmerston North this evening, where I will hopefully grab a shower, put the tent up and have a good night's rest before I head out onto the track through to the bottom of the Araroa mountains and the halfway point. So I suppose I'm making relatively slow progress today, but I have come about 10 kilometres so far. It's about another 3 or 4 onto the outskirts of Palmerston North, and then I think another 5 to 10 to the actual campsite for tonight, which is quite a few kilometres actually through town. I think I've unknowingly been craving maybe some alone time. So it's been nice to have a little bit of time to myself. Yeah, apart from that, it's been nice walking today, but I'm just keen now to get into Palmerston North and get out of the wind mainly, because the wind has been quite strong today. So I've got about 7 kilometres left to go now to the holiday park. My feet are really starting to ache again. I mean, I suppose I've only actually taken one break so far, so that's probably got a lot to do with it, but I'm just wondering how many kilometres I'm going to be able to do per day on my way down to Wellington. I'm not really in a rush, but it would be nice to get home sooner rather than later so I can get moving on some of the things I have to do once I get back. I don't want this to be over too quickly, so it's going to be a bit of a delicate balance between trying to find the right distances to hike and trying to make sure I'm not dawdling too much. So I picked up my resupply box in Moturimu, which had been sent down by Mum, and lo and behold, inside was this, which I'd just forgotten about until now. A lovely piece of Christmas fruitcake, which I'm going to sit and enjoy on this beautiful river pathway while I rest my feet up. Sure that the holiday park, which is the place that I'm staying tonight, is just past this next bridge, maybe even as much as a kilometre past it, but gosh, I'm just struggling at the moment. I'm in pain. It's funny, it's not like I haven't walked in these boots before, and on day hikes and things I've never had a problem with them. I've been using them for probably 18 months. But they are struggling over long distances on this trail. I'm not really sure what to do. Don't really have a choice either. I've just got to keep pushing on with them. So this could be the trail's way of bringing everything full circle for me, making me end with 7 days of pain just like I started. I really don't want to finish up in Island Bay ridiculously exhausted and in excruciating pain again. I'm pretty sure that this is the holiday park, which is an absolutely welcome sight because I can't hobble much faster than this at the moment. Lots and lots and lots of discomfort. So let's go and find a campsite. Incidentally, that is where I was supposed to walk to yesterday, and then it's a nice easy walk up that path there into the holiday park. That'll avoid you walking all the way around the back of the holiday park, adding on about another half a kilometre to a kilometre at the end of a very long day. Okay, good morning everyone. I am leaving Palmerston North this morning after actually quite a good night at the Palmerston North Holiday Park last night. There were some bad comments on Guthook about the holiday park, but I have to say the toilets and the showers were very clean, and the same with the kitchen. I pretty much just got straight in last night and went straight to the New World supermarket, which is about 1.5 kilometres up the road, so it was a bit of a walk on some very sore feet yesterday evening, to grab some lunch supplies for the next 3 days, and also to pick up another gas canister, which I had forgotten to do on my way through the town yesterday on the bus. It looks like I've got about 28 kilometres today to a Palmerston North City Council hut, somewhere between here and the Mahakia. Anyway, there's an outdoor pursuit centre just before the Araroa Ranges, basically, which is my final destination before I skip around the Araroa mountains. So yeah, this hut that I'm going to tonight is about halfway between there and here. I'm also hoping that there might also be some other hikers there today. There were none here at the holiday park last night, which seems like it might not be very promising. But the major thing that will be happening today, hopefully if I can make it, is that I will be stumbling upon the 1500 kilometre mark, and I haven't really had time to process that at the moment, so I'm just going to wait and see but I feel like when I get there that's going to be pretty awesome. Well, I've spied 2 hikers up ahead. I have no idea who they are or where they're going, but probably catch up with them in a little while and maybe even see if I can stick around them a little bit. Okay, so the hiker that I caught up with, her name is Elli. She did remind me of something that I found out yesterday though when I was checking Guthook, which is that today along the trail there is a road closure, which could potentially mean that you have to hike in 5 or 6 kilometres and then get turned around for forestry work. She said that she stayed at the Fio hut last night, which is basically a trail angel's place, and that they told her there is an alternate that we could walk basically along the road, which would skip that section of the trail but would be around about the same distance and would avoid any need to hike down the trail and then have to hike back out again because of the road closure. Apparently it's possible that they will let us pass when we get down there, but of course we have no guarantee of that, and I didn't think to ask Julia or John or any of those guys when I last saw them, so I think the safest option is to do this alternate and just make my way from there. Okay, so here's Kahuterawa Road, which is the alternate I'm taking, down this way and off into the Arapuki Forest Park, I believe. That sign seems to suggest maybe it's 10 kilometres down the road to rejoin the trail. Alright, just had a nice lunch here at the Kahuterawa Reserve and just heading out now to the hut for tonight. Wasn't too long before Elli came along and stopped for her lunch break, so we were just having a nice chat, getting to know each other. Just as I was readying myself to leave, 2 other lovely young ladies turned up as well. I had Anouk and Tessa. They were saying that there are a lot of hikers going to be heading to the hut tonight. So despite my initial worries that I'd be there all by myself tonight, I think it's going to more than likely be a case of having to squeeze in with 8, 9, 10 other people. I guess we'll all be hitting the halfway point today, which will be quite nice. I wonder if there'll be anybody else there when I turn up. Just come out into this little clearing here, so we've got the sledge track over in this direction, and I do believe I am headed over that bridge there, which goes towards the back track and Arapuki Forest Park. This spot marks the nominal halfway point as of the 2016-17 season route of Te Araroa. I think I actually have slightly further to go to the halfway point, but it feels slightly surreal to be here. So despite the fact that the milestone is here, there's actually still another 4 kilometres or so until I reach the proper halfway mark. So I'm going to keep pushing on a little bit further, but still it's pretty amazing to actually reach this place. I was expecting to be a little bit more emotional, but I don't really have any feelings right now, so I'm just going to keep walking for a little while. And there is my home for the evening. Somewhere along here. 1,500 kilometres done. It feels pretty good to be here. Okay, so I've made it here to the Whare o Moturimu hut, about 28 k's past Palmerston North, and this is where I'm going to spend the night. It's sort of a shelter actually, but it's a relatively enclosed shelter, and just collected water and had a bit of a rinse off in this stream here, and it looks like actually we're going to be pretty crowded tonight. I reckon there's easily space for 6 people to sleep on the bunks at the hut, but plenty of room for many more people than that to sleep on the floor. There's a British couple inside who were there when I arrived. They're actually no-bow hikers northbound, so they started in Bluff. And I asked them how that was going. They said they started in November, and because of the earliness of the start northbound, they've had to skip quite a few sections due to weather and things. So yeah, just something to bear in mind if you are thinking about northbound hiking. The sun is very, very hot this afternoon. It's sort of come out incredibly hot, and for that reason I've actually rinsed out my shirt and some of my underwear as well in the stream, because I think even though it's about 5 o'clock in the afternoon, it's going to dry very quickly. My feet actually are doing a lot better today than they were yesterday, which is promising, but I'm still not sure that I can pull off a 10 to 12 hour day tomorrow. So of course the other major thing that's happened today is that I have hit that halfway point. The sign that I came across was actually 4 kilometres before the actual 1,500 kilometre mark. I do have to acknowledge the fact that I have walked 1,500 kilometres now. I have to say I was expecting to feel a little more emotional than I did when I actually got to that point. And it's a little surprising to me, because usually I'm somebody who is overcome with emotion like that. But I think maybe that's just a sign of how much I've grown. As a person, I think I've become a lot more confident in my ability to take on challenges and things that are completely unknown. And I guess there's always going to be change. You can't walk 1,500 kilometres down the length of a country without having some level of change in your life. And I think for me the biggest challenge now is going to be returning to that normal life and seeing where that takes me for the next little while. But I can tell you right now that even though I have only walked 1,500 kilometres, I think my life has changed definitely for the better. I've been able, since I started the trail, to overcome some things that I never thought I would be able to overcome. And one of my biggest turning points actually came over Christmas whilst I was back in my hometown, and I was able to put myself into a situation that typically has always thrown me off balance a little bit, and come out feeling exactly as I hoped I would feel after having walked the length of the North Island, and that made me feel incredibly good. And so for that reason I am now expounding the virtues of doing something like this to everybody out there, just as a journey of self-discovery and just as a means of changing things up a little bit, just enough to allow yourself to grow enough to maybe feel a little bit better about yourself, especially if, like me, you're one of these people who is always full of self-doubt, who's always lacking in self-confidence, this is definitely one of the best things I've ever done. If you're out there wondering and you're not sure and you're like me and you're terrified and you've never done anything like this before, that's why I'm out here, is to show you that this is totally possible. Even if you are the biggest scaredy cat in the whole world, even if you do suffer with crippling anxiety or depression on a daily basis, if you're one of these people who really struggles to get out of bed in the morning, I've been there, I've done all of that. And I still think that if you can, if you're even remotely considering it, just get out here and do this, because it will change your life. Good morning. Day 76 today. I finally caught myself up with the days last night when I got to the shelter. So I walked out of the shelter this morning and immediately went in the wrong direction. So today is going to be one of those days, I think. There are a couple of options for today. It is about 32 kilometres from here to the Makahika Outdoor Pursuit Centre. I don't think I'm going to make it there because there's a shelter about 15 kilometres up the road, and from the shelter to the Outdoor Pursuit Centre they reckon it's about 7.5 hours, and it's going to take me about 3 to 4 hours to get to the shelter, so it would be a very, very long day, and I just don't see the need to push all the way today unless it's absolutely necessary. I'm just going to see how I feel when I get there and maybe suss out what everyone else is doing. I have a feeling that most of the girls in the group that I was with last night, without meaning to sound sexist or anything, are probably not going to push the whole way just because it's that little bit longer and we're all feeling a little bit worse for wear. Although, having said that, my feet are feeling quite good this morning. There is one heck of an uphill climb here. It takes me back to the Queen Charlotte track. Very, very similar to those climbs there. Never mind, at least I'm in the shade at the moment. Going up into the sunshine just around the corner there though. Oh dear. Never mind. You're alright. So this is it. 1,503 kilometres, halfway on the 2019-2020 Te Araroa Trail. I'm officially crossing it now. This is the halfway point right here. Taking one more step and I am officially closer to Bluff than I am to Cape Reinga. It's a good feeling. It's a really good feeling. There's the emotion that I was looking for yesterday. Anyway, I gotta go, otherwise I'm gonna miss these guys, but man, it feels good. The old battle to keep the feet dry, huh? Well, the self-doubt is back. I've been around this group of, gosh, how many would there be? 6 hikers for a little while, and they all just seem to be so comfortable in this sort of terrain, forests and things. And I'm back to my old, every time I put my trekking poles down they slip, and every time I try and climb up a hill my feet slip. I was just coming down a hill back there, trying desperately to keep up with the group. My feet were just so unstable on the ground underneath, and they all seemed to have no problems at all. And it was like the weight of my pack was pushing me down the hill. My boots didn't seem to be gripping at all. That was a little bit worrying. I mean, I suppose I only really have this forest section left. It's not like I'm going through the Tararuas or anything, but so this little bit today, and then whatever we might have tomorrow in order to get to the Outdoor Pursuit Centre. So it's just the last little push, but maybe it's just the fact that I haven't walked through anything like this now for a long time. In fact, this track is very, very similar today to the Nightmare track just out of Tokomaru. So another little stream crossing here. You get down this steep slope to get across that. So yeah, not feeling so good at the moment, but hopefully it'll improve. Rather helpfully, some notches cut in this big tree that's come down over the track. It's a little tricky to get over, but this forest is kind of gorgeous. I'm not usually a big fan, but it's so beautiful. Off we go up this way, and I am just taking my time. I still have no idea what everyone else's plans are. I gather that most of them might try and push on the additional 15 or 17 kilometres this afternoon. Okay, so I've just emerged from the Burton's track onto the Tokomaru Valley Road, and I think about half a kilometre up here is the shelter. It's about 12:30, and it seems far too early to stop for the day. But I am suspicious that the next section is just going to take such a long time. I mean, it's taken about 4.5 hours-ish to get through the Burton's track, which is 15 kilometres-ish. And there's still another 17 to go. I don't know that I've got another 7.5 or 8 hours left in me. That would mean getting in at 9 o'clock at night. But anyway, I'll just see what the general feeling is when I get down here. Had some nasty near misses today. Boots that have slid on rocks and feet that have come very, very close to perilous overhangs. But I've lived to tell the tale so far, so maybe it's not worth pushing my luck. Anyway, my first priority is going to be lunch, because I have worked up something of an appetite this morning, and then just see what happens from there.